On top of, in addition to the weekly to every 10-day shipments in cash of $40 to $80 million. Afghanistan is ruled by folks named Sarayuddin Haqqani. The Haqqani network mean anything to anybody in the room? How about Abdullah bin Laden? Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan.
On the BHT, on the ideologies, let me see.
There was the issue of the NGOs. Yes.
NGOs, you know, there are so many things. If we want to go into NGO issues, there are so many things I had. Initially, when the NGOs came in, when we started, they didn't want any oversight function. They didn't want us to know where they were going to. We had issues with that because now they will go into the enclave of the terrorists and go and treat them. You are treating the same people that is attacking the communities. You tell them no, that you are neutral. How neutral can you be? We've had situations where allegations of arms, them conveying arms just to make sure that the war continues. We've had situations where they will tell you they are taking food to communities. Halfway, they will tell you the trailer has broken down. By next morning, the trailer is empty. And that vehicle that is broken down, the driver will just go and drive it and take it back. So what had happened? You have funded those guys. You are taking care of them equally. We've had several situations like that. So we said, no, it can't continue like that. And that's why we insisted with the state government that, look, the state government must know what's going on. So if any NGO comes, it must be registered. We must monitor what's going on. We've had situations where NGOs will come in with unidentified individuals entering communities. You don't even know what they're doing. They don't have NGO ID cards. They are not part of the government. Who is taking them to? What are they going there for? And so by the time we start monitoring what they were doing, we noticed things started getting better. So which means something is going on somewhere. Because they come from all over the world and you don't know who is who. So that's why for every country, please regulate what the NGOs are doing, monitor what they're doing. Most times you hear them telling you that they spent $10 million, and then you wonder where. Most times the money is spent on themselves, on their luxuries. The hotels they stay, the vehicles they are using, and all those things. The locals don't benefit much from them. And yet this thing keeps on. I've told you, somebody will come and pay for a house for 10 years ahead. So what is he trying to tell you? This thing will never end until after 10 years, or maybe he will renew it. And again, I always remember that if there is peace and the threat level is low, one, they are going to retrench them. Two, their hazard allowance will reduce. How many of them will want that? We're not saying all of them are bad. No, some are really doing very well. Some are extremely doing very well. But again, please don't just assume they're just monitor what's going on, monitor what's being spent. I think it's important. I think we've dealt with the issue.
There's the last one of extermination of the...
when is it going to end? Maybe I should ask you, when is criminality going to end? It's something that we have to live. No, the truth about it is just something that's the new world order. And it's everywhere. In America, how many killings are going on? It's all acts of terrorism. It's going to be in every country. It is your ability to mitigate, to deal with it in such a way that it does not affect the normal lives of the people. But acts of criminality will continue. That is for sure. Countries that have not had it, please don't allow it to start. Whatever it takes, once they start, please nib it immediately in the bud. It's very important. And what does it take? Monitoring. Monitoring is good. Law enforcement, legal system. These are areas that we're having a lot of challenges. Most times you even arrest these people, there's no legal law to deal with them. You are left with the people to deal with. It's a big issue. And because they know that, they too leverage on those aspects. So I think that's why it's important. Like we said, it's a whole of society approach to addressing asymmetric warfare. Thank you. They don't speak your language. You brought them across from international borders. You give them refuge. They stayed with you. They had a sharing formula for them to be with you. And then suddenly you stop giving them what they wanted. The tendency is next, they want to start asking by force. That was exactly what happened with the Lakrawas. They are from Niger. They don't even speak Nigerian language. They are not Nigerians at all. But the locals felt comfortable with them, thinking that they are one of the same. Maybe my religion, come here and help me. In case I'm going to be attacked, you can protect me. Then I'll be giving you this amount of money or giving you this support and all these things. And in fact, some of them, if you talk to them, the communities now, they tell you, no, they are very friendly. Because what they do is that they try to show you they're better opponents to the government. They bring out money, pay you money, give you food, give you this. Say, no, I'm with you, I'm here to protect you. Better than your government. But you know, it doesn't last. The romance doesn't last. After a while, they will show their true colors, and that's exactly what they did. Initially, again, when they came, they said they didn't have anything to do with Nigeria, that their problem was with Niger. So they were comfortable. And since their problem was with Niger, the locals felt comfortable with them. And when you come to ask them and say, no, there's nobody, we're all friends, they're all, because we share a very common border, like I said, with Niger, about 1,600 kilometers. Some houses, you see the sitting room is in Nigeria, the bedroom is in Niger. That is how close. We share common culture, tradition, religion together. So it makes it difficult even separating them. So even when you come as a visitor and you want to find out, they tell you, no, we're together, there's no problem. Until they started taxing them and they started killing them. That's when they now cried out. So efforts are being made now. Operations are ongoing to clear them up completely from the sovereign. And we're working together with Niger. Because normally, like I said, they don't respect any border. You come here, they move to the next country, and then when you leave, they come back. Now, we have 20 kilometers right of pursuit. The Nigerians are working together with us. So we're addressing the gradual. But like I said, it's a difficult operation because the only way you identify them is if you see them armed. Or else they're just like any other person. So if the villagers tell you they are our friends or they are our relations, what do? That's the difficulty in asymmetric warfare. But we're working on it, and then the intelligence agencies are equally down there following up the issue. On the issue of the IDPs and probably refugees, yes, psychological operations have been, we have psychologists. In the military we have, like everything, every space of life you have in the civil, we have in the military. It's just like in the civil, probably more, but in the military, small but very, very efficient. So even for our troops, because of post-traumatic stress disorder, we have for our troops, when they are before they go, we brief them. When they are leaving the theater, we also take them back and give them some psychological, because we don't want them to go back with that mindset back to the community. Sometimes they go back with a lot of rage because of what they've seen, what they've gone through. So we do that. Likewise, part of the de-radicalization program we're doing is we have the psychologists to also take part, apart from the religious leaders, because it's a holistic thing, and we know the importance of mental health issues, again, and so those are the things that have been addressed quite very well. On the issue of the ratios of non-kinetics, well, the ratio, maybe you look at it from the level that at least now the rates of attacks have gone down. Communities are now resuming back to their communities, and not forcefully, like with the question from the IGP. Not at all. The communities, in fact, most communities are eager to return back to their villages. So one thing is that we must give the clear, working together with the government until we are sure that there is, because normally before they go back, we go back there with the government officials to ensure that infrastructure, at least to some level, is restored. There is water, some semblance of life before they are. And then we also, because of the use of IEDs, One of the greatest challenges we are having in the terror is the use of IEDs. So they are scattered all over. And probably some ammunitions too that were there that were not exploded. So we make sure that we go around, clear all these areas, make sure that it's safe, and then with their own consent, they are transported back to these communities. There is no community in the world that is 100% free. So if we say we're looking for an ideal situation where it is no community is 100% free, but we make sure that at least to that extent that they are able to go back, and we've returned. Baga is fully back, Gudumbali is back, Kukawa is back. So we are taking them in gradually, step by step, and we feel that's the best thing to do. Because again, leaving them in IDP camps, you are creating another problem. Now you're having a lot of rape cases, a lot of stealing, a lot of killings, all within the camps because they're so crowded. So easing them out gradually and taking them back to their communities has made it a lot easier. But again, with their consent, nobody's being forced into doing it. And then for the refugees, we're also working with, we have some of them in Niger, some in Cameroon, some in Chad. We're also working with them to bring them back gradually. And so I think the work is going on, and we will continue to do that. We believe the non-kinetic has a major role in what we're doing. The military, like I said, can only do so much. The government must be there to be held to account.
Have to answer. You see, since they have the idea of this firepower, bandits use AK-47. Well, the law of the land did not allow somebody that is not trained as a military or as a police officer to hold AK-47. And this is a community-driven crisis that can be addressed substantially by the members of the communities. In as much as the communities are trained and they know the enclaves of the bandit, and they don't have the power because they can only use pump action that ranges only 100 meters. Well, bandits are having AK-47 that has a range of about 400 meters. They will continue to deal with people even if people want to fight and protect their communities. What government is doing to address that problem, considering the fact that in the Boko Haram, hunters were given AK-47, and that's what honestly helped in addressing the problem of Boko Haram. So what is government doing now to make people to have access to that more advanced and more sophisticated weaponry so that we will come to we will completely dislodge this bandit? Because in as much as we leave them, they will continue to expand, and that is a serious issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In seconding the motion, I want to say that the allegation was made by Scott Perry. It was not a social media thing. And I agree that such issues should be discussed in a closed session. But Mr. President, this is not a social media stuff. And the investigation is going on right now in the United States Congress. And also today, the President, Donald Trump, also said specifically that in that investigation, the support given to Nigeria so far should also be investigated. With that, I want to second the motion to collapse the two prayers into one. I so second.
Thank you. I also want you to note that America is going through a metamorphosis, a political metamorphosis. It's almost like one political party taking over from another political party, and allegations flying left, right, center. It's only through thorough investigation that the truth can be established. Even America has not taken the allegation hook, line, and sinker. They are investigating. So Nigeria must also investigate to be sure, because we won't just keep quiet.
Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, Order 41 and 50 One, and that is matter of urgent national importance, which I discussed with you, Mr. President. Can I go ahead to present the motion on the urgent need to investigate the alleged funding of Boko Haram by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID?
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Ali Ndume had approached me that he had this matter of urgent importance on allegations of USAID funding Boko Haram in Nigeria, and he would like the Senate to discuss it. We have already taken one motion on Order 41 rule